Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTEST.com, and today we're at the Miami International Boat Show with Tim McKercher from Sea-Doo Media Relations. Tim, I understand you've got some interesting things you want to tell me about.
Yeah, I'm going to show you 4 innovations that's really changed the game for personal watercraft users and made life on the water a whole lot easier. So the IBR system, it came about to give the rider more control than they ever had in tight quarter situations as well as open water. So the intelligent brake and reverse system, it starts in neutral. So if the rider is at the dock, they're next to a boat, they're on the trailer, they're loading, unloading, the fact that it's in neutral while the engine's running just gives them another added level of control. Now if they want to go into forward, they just simply pull the throttle lever. It electronically puts the machine in forward, and to go into neutral and reverse, you pull the left lever. This is your brake lever. It's just like a bicycle. So the more you pull this, the more braking effect you have. But the whole idea of this is to give the rider the optimal situational awareness. So they never have to look down to adjust a control or manipulate a control, and they never have to take their hands off of the controls. So it ultimately gives the rider more control than they've ever had on the water, and having more control and more safety, it really does make for a more fun experience. Along with some of those ergonomic innovations has been the ErgoLock system. Increasing the control level, again, is part of ergonomics. It's how the rider connects to the machine beyond the handles, but also on the seat. So what we developed was called the ErgoLock system, and we have the ErgoLock seat. So part of what the design team changed was they moved the rider position forward of the engine, because the saddle itself is dictated by the engine width. So we got in front of the engine, and now we have a very, very narrow saddle with these knee flares here. So now I can slide right into this and basically lock into the machine with my knees, my lower body. The lower body is much stronger than the upper body, so I can use the strongest muscles in the body to hold on to the machine, which reduces the fatigue and strain on the upper body, so you can ultimately use the power more efficiently. So with these angled footwell wedges, I can brace my feet on the outside. It naturally cambers my knees up into these wedges, and I can drive into the seat, and now I'm holding on to the machine. I can go into a corner holding more power and come out of the corner holding more power. So we were talking about the ergonomics, but part of the ergonomics is the power pack, because that determines how big the seat is. So Sea-Doo has developed a design engine philosophy called ACE, or Advanced Combustion Efficiency. And part of that process is to develop more power out of a smaller engine, because we could easily make more power with a bigger engine, but we want to keep the engine small, compact, and keep that power to weight ratio really strong. So this is where the ACE engine philosophy has come from. And it was developed first with the Spark, with the 900 ACE, and then we also introduced the 1630 ACE for 1630 cc's for 300 horsepower. So how did we get 300 horsepower out of a 1.6 liter engine? We had a lot of advancements as far as the design. So we got rid of the steel sleeves, which is traditionally how a cylinder is lined, and now it's an aluminum sleeve engine with a plasma spray. So what that really means is it reduces weight without the steel, and then the heat that's produced in the combustion chamber is dissipated much faster and easy through the aluminum, which reduces friction. So it allows the engine to run more efficiently. Now some of the other elements that were added was the supercharger itself. The calibration is much more refined. So each supercharger is balance tested before it goes onto a production machine. It's spun up to 48,600 RPM for 1 minute, and it's tested for any kind of vibration. As long as it's within tolerances, it goes on the engine and onto production, and anything outside of those parameters, we start over again. So that is another reason that the supercharger is now maintenance free. So a lot of these elements, the supercharger is making more boost because it's more efficient. It has more blades on the supercharger wheel, so it's pushing more air into the engine. The ignition coils have double the firepower. The fuel injectors have double the volume capacity, so they can feed more air and fuel into that engine to ultimately make more power, but without getting bigger and heavier. And another one of our very recent innovations has been in the areas of material. So with the new Sea-Doo Spark, we had to lower the weight because we wanted a lighter, more nimble watercraft that we could put a smaller engine and still have great power to weight ratio. But we also needed it to look different. We needed it to stand out to get the millennials' attention into the boat industry. So this is where we came up with the Polytech material. So we've got Polytech, which is the hull material of the Spark. That's a polypropylene with fiber mixed into it. So it's not a plastic, it's not a fiberglass, it's kind of right in between. It's very, very durable, very reliable, but very lightweight. And the fact that the material it's able to be shaped in a mold, it's all mold injected, we can integrate design elements into this that we couldn't do with a gel coat or a fiberglass. So the modular construction of the Spark allows the designers to do some different things. It's really, it's a departure from the way boats are designed, and it's more like the way automobiles are designed. So it's kind of like a fender here, a piece there. So if there was any damage that a customer experienced, rather than a modern car, you don't get the hammer out and the Bondo out anymore. You just replace the whole fender.
Well, that's our look at some of the innovations being brought to the table from Sea-Doo. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.